Hi, my name is Mia Wood. I'm a professor of philosophy here at Pierce College. I'm looking forward to working with you this fall 2019, online in Philosophy 9 Symbolic Logic. Now, what this video involves is essentially a course tour. So we're going to look at Canvas together. I'm going to tell you what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, why you're going to do it, so that by the time you finish this video, you have a pretty good idea of what the course territory is. Certainly with respect to the layout of the course and the requirements of the course. And then separately, as we get into the details of the course, you will learn more about what's involved in symbolic logic. So let's go ahead and take a look at the course on Canvas. And then if you have any questions, problems, confusions, please let me know. In other words, you should feel free to use Canvas's email tool to send me a message. I check that email account multiple times a day. In addition, I have online and on-campus office hours, and I meet with class members individually or in small groups using our Confer Zoom tool. It's like Skype or FaceTime. It's really easy, and if you haven't used it before, it'll be super easy for you to use, and I'll tell you how you go about using it. So let's go ahead and take a look at our course, and again, I'm looking forward to working with you. Okay, so here we are on our home page. I'm hopeful that the layout of the course is familiar to you, and what I mean by that, or at least kind of fairly easy to navigate. What I mean by that in terms of being familiar to you is that not only is it the case that there are some standard items, so whatever Canvas course you take, you'll see these standard buttons on the far left navigation pane or ribbon. And then I try to keep this set of links fairly uncomplicated. But most, if not all of those should be familiar to you. And then mostly, and I'll come to the right side in just a little bit, but mostly it's this main center pane that should look familiar to you. And what I mean by that is that we've got our Start Here link. I'll come back to that in just a sec. Student resources at Pierce, and then some other items that are going to be useful to you as you go forward. I'll come back to those in a little bit. But really the sort of the meat of the familiarity is in the layout of the weeks, right? So week 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth, all the way down to week 16. So the layout follows the progression of our course chronologically through the semester, and what you have is sort of a schedule layout like you would on an ordinary paper syllabus. Each of the weeks is laid out the same way. So we've got the week 1 module, week 2 module, and then the link that tells you what you're doing for a given week. So let's take a look, for example, at week 1. Every week is laid out the same way. There's stuff to read, watch, and complete. So, you've got a bunch of topics, stuff we're covering, and then you've got your readings, and then a bunch of videos. And I'll talk more about the videos later because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by the number of videos you see. And then at the bottom of the page, you've got your to-do list. Again, we'll come back to that in just a little bit. And then if we click the next button for week 2, you'll see again, topics, what to read, videos to watch, stuff to complete. Now you can page through each of these weeks, by hitting the next or previous button. Alternatively, you can always return to the home page, right, and find the week that you want. I don't know, week number 8, for example, right? And again, layout's the same. Topics, readings, stuff to watch, stuff to complete. Okay, so again, I'm hopeful that this looks familiar to you, or even if it doesn't look familiar, that you say, oh, it's pretty natural, it's easy to navigate. That said, if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so where you are right now is the Start Here video. So here's our Welcome to Phil 9. This is basically the course overview. In other words, how we're using Canvas, how Canvas is laid out, what the syllabus looks like, and so forth. Then you definitely want to look at the remaining videos because these videos will tell us about some of the details of our course, more specifically, details involving a software suite that we use to learn logic and to complete specific exercises for your part of your course score. So you don't want to overlook these videos. And even though I tend to be wordy and I'm always working on it, I hope that these videos are fairly, brief and to the point. The last video, the overview of the language proof and logic programs, gets you started on some of the basic features of these pieces of software that we'll use to learn logic. But going back to the home page, there are tutorials, right? So I'll come back to that in a little bit. Now, when you're done with the Start Here stuff, I've got a bunch of links and pages to important resources at Pierce College. You should know whether you are a wholly online, partly online, or fully on-campus Pierce student, that there are loads of resources at your disposal. These resources are either just free, fully free, or they're free insofar as you paid your student fees, so now you have access to them. So check those out. Okay, so, whoops, I hit the wrong button there. So, what I'm going to do is just sort of skip over this set of links, only because you'll see more about that in another video. Suffice it to say that the authors of our book have a website that supports the textbook, supports the software that we use, and they offer a bunch of really nice video tutorials on using the programs that we use. Next, we've got a bunch of handouts. So, for example, here's an e-copy of our textbook. You will find that really at the end of the day, all you're paying for when you purchase the book and the software suite for this course is access to a grading program called the Grade Grinder. More on that in another video, but you can access the textbook easy peasy on our website, both here and then also, I think I also linked it under week 1. There are lecture notes for each of the chapters that we work on, and then some handouts that are going to be helpful to you as we move forward in the course. And then more on this later, but there are some retest options. Next, there are 2 pinned discussion forums. One is Ask Lindsay, which is a forum devoted to questions that you can ask our embedded course tutor, Lindsay Lazo. She is phenomenal. She is just a wonderful tutor, a wonderful person, and she will help you immensely. In addition, we've got a general discussion forum for us to ask each other questions, pose problems like, hey, I'm having trouble, using this program in this way, what's going on, or confusions you might have about a concept or a skill. So let's help each other out using this forum. That said, I want you to know that I use Confer Zoom, which is our video conference tool. The Zoom tool is like FaceTime, it's like Skype, super easy to use. It's where I host my online office hours, and I use it for one-on-one and small group meetings. So you might say, I don't want to post to the discussion forum, I want to get with Mia directly, and I want to speak with her directly as opposed to using Canvas email. So you might say, Mia, let's set up an appointment. Lindsay uses Conferences, which is another video tool. I confess I don't know it, so I don't use it, but I have Conferences here because it's what Lindsay uses. Okay, and then like I said, continue on, you've got your week by week. What you're going to find is under each, in each page of the given module for a given week, what the layout, except for the videos, basically follows the same layout as our syllabus, which I'll show you in a moment. But I do want to come back, I want to stay in here for a moment to tell you about the videos. What I try to do with these videos is offer you multiple prongs of approaching the material. So, for example, you'll see recordings of class meetings, right? So, class meetings on campus where we're covering the material that we cover online in the same, progression. Then I offer sort of straight lecture videos where you're getting either overviews or you're getting the basics of a chapter, so basic concepts and skills of a chapter, and then I offer explainers and I offer tutorials. And so it should be the case that depending on what you want to know, the videos are going to offer you some content that's helpful to you. In addition, one of the things that's great about our authors is they offer us through Stanford University's online open learning platform this course. So even though it's not for a grade, you could sign up, which I have done because I like to see how they approach the material. And they offer videos and they offer transcripts of those videos. And so it's really a useful site for you to have as a resource. And then the items that you're going to complete each week are going to be at least one of the following: a discussion post, I'll say more about that; reading quiz, I'll say more about that; and then exams. So I'll come back to that in a little bit, but first, let's look at the syllabus. So I'm going to go to our syllabus link, and you can view the PDF of our course syllabus, which I'm going to do in just a moment, or you can download it if you want. I strongly encourage you to have access to that. But basically, this is your boilerplate syllabus, right? What we're doing in the course, important dates and resources, and then our schedule on Canvas. The way that my Word document loads to Canvas is not my most favorite here. I don't find this particular layout helpful, but whatevs, as the kids say. You can find the schedule more beautifully laid out elsewhere. But I do want to scroll down, I should say, because you get a course summary of assessments here. So it's one way you can access stuff. But let's come back on up to the top because I like this view better. And we'll open up our syllabus and we get, again, all the same stuff, right? So what are we doing in this course? We've got a bunch of electronic exams. Each of the exams you can retest once. And then because our final exam is the last exam, you can't retest it. So I offer you a pretest. And then depending on how you do on that, you might want to write the final exam. So there are exams and there are retests. There are discussions. I strongly encourage you to take advantage of this discussion forums as opportunities to puzzle through some interesting logical concepts and skills. These are important to the work that we're doing. I craft these with an eye toward knowing what you're going to be asked to do in this course. And then there are reading quizzes. Let's see, where's the reading quizzes? Exams, discussions. Oh, there it is, reading quizzes. Reading quizzes basically just ask you to kind of go find it in the book. So multiple choice, true, false, for quotes and definitions and things like that. I want you to interact with the book, and there's a reason for that. There are two reasons for that. One has to do with the learning of the content, but another has to do with the fact that the textbook is integrated with the programs we'll use to learn logic. Again, there's a separate video on that, so I won't cover that here. And then, like I said, helpful stuff, calendar, and then our schedule, right? So week 1, week 2, week 3, and so forth. Don't mind this no class on Monday. We're online. We meet all the time, right? But we've got things laid out in terms of our topics, our readings, and stuff to complete. right? So I hope that this feels pretty comfortable for you. It's familiar. If it doesn't, though, like I said, just let me know. Okay, so minimize this. One last point I want to make is as you know already, I'm going to show by type. I prefer this view. As you know already, each of the assignments is linked from within a given week's module, but you can go into the assignments page and you can look at what our discussions are, exams, right, and so forth. So this gives you an overview. It's true that the to-do lists show up here. It's fine to use this as a reminder of what you have to do, but please don't rely on this alone. It's really important that you go into, each week's page so that you can see what there is that you have to do and you can look at the videos and so forth, right? If you do nothing other than say, oh, I've got to write exam one, I better click on that link, that's not you developing proficiency with the material in such a way that then the exam becomes easy for you to write. Okay, so if you have any questions, problems, confusions, what are you going to do? You're going to let me know. You're going to send me an email. You are going to, let's say via email, set up a Confer Zoom appointment. If you want to come to campus or you want to call me instead of working via email, you see my office and here, oh, my number, I got to fix this. My office number is phone number is 2200. And you can swing by the office for office hours. Okay, I hope this helps, and I'm excited to work with you. This is going to be so much fun.